Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Chronicles of the Range Monkey. I am Stephanie Weidner, the CEO of ASP and the mother of the Range Monkey, Natalie Weidner.
Hi.
And we were supposed to get some shooting done today and work on her videos, but the weather kind of messed us up. So we decided to do some assessing today, not shooting assessment, but maybe learning assessment and where we're at assessment. So let's do this.
I use Throom targets on the range for all the benefits of steel with none of the drawbacks. They're made in the USA too. Pick up a set to make your shooting more fun and effective.
Well, Natalie, thanks for taking a few minutes to talk with me after
Yeah.
trying to figure out how to get some range time and that not working, and now trying to figure out how to get some computer time. Appreciate your patience with that. But you have been on ASP as the range monkey for what, about a year and a half now?
Oh no, probably maybe 2 years. Probably
Maybe.
2 years. Yeah.
Maybe. And I believe at some point towards the beginning, we talked about how this all got started and kind of your origin story, but it's been a bit. So I thought maybe we'd revisit that and remind people of where you're coming from and then talk maybe a little bit about where you're going from
Yeah.
here. But you didn't have prior to this a huge background in shooting or guns, particularly from a defensive perspective.
Right.
You,
Yeah, no, I mean, most of my background has been like before active self-protection. Most of my background has been just going hunting with dad or doing 4-H shooting sports with dad. So, yeah, no, it was pretty interesting to leap into the self-defense world.
Would you say that anything like that was ever on your radar, or was it just really not anything you were interested in? Or, I mean, you were pretty young at the time, as you're 20 now, so we're talking up to 18 years old.
Yeah. I guess self-defense wasn't really super huge on my mind because we lived in a small town of like 200 people and we were homeschooled. And so I really only hung out with Ellie at church, like they're homeschoolers social circle. So I didn't really think of self-defense too much. And I was in karate class, so I thought I was pretty tough stuff.
Right. And by
So,
the time we got to the birth of the range monkey, Dad and I had been involved with ASP for several years at this point, traveling and teaching. And I always thought it was kind of a funny story. I suppose it was back in 2020. We were scheduled to teach a class. I think it was in Idaho at the
yep.
time. And I woke up that morning, the morning that we were supposed to leave, with my allergies just out of control. And my allergies tend to trigger my asthma, which has me breathing short and shallow and coughing quite a bit. And as much as I knew it was allergies, I also knew that was really in the middle of the pandemic. They would not have, absolutely not have let me on a plane. Even though I knew I wasn't sick, that we didn't have the rapid tests at the time, and we decided it was best if I just stayed home. So I called John and Neil and let them know that I wasn't going to make it, and asked if they would be okay. And they mentioned, well, we really could use, even though we can handle the instruction part of it, kind of a range monkey to just hang targets, run and get things, just help keep us on track.
Yeah.
And you were home at the time that day, and for the next couple
Asleep.
of days, yeah, you were still asleep. It was pretty early in the morning because we were supposed to take off that day.
Yeah.
And we thought, what about you? So you were always very helpful and a hard worker and easy to travel with. So your dad went up and woke you up. You agreed to it, threw a bag together quickly, and headed off to basically hang targets and go for in the most monkey way. But it
Yeah.
didn't end up being exactly like that. Why don't you share from your experience what happened in that class? Because that's really where the range monkey started.
Right. So like I said, my background up until this point has been shooting sports with, me and my sister and my best friend. And dad usually was the one that drove us, so he was around for a lot of it. And so he kind of, I don't know, just the family aspect of it, it was really fun competing because we were all pretty similar, similar skill sets. At least me and Madison. I think Dad was probably a bit better than us, but he never let us know though. First little bit, but I really liked just competing. We've always kind of been a competitive and kind family. We're not at each other's throats about it. We're all good sports, but unless it's Monopoly. But it's always been kind of fun to compete and uh going to Boise, Idaho, I don't know, I kind of had the same I kind of had the same perception of it is okay, these people are just competing against each other. It's fun competition. And so it was kind of like a step up. Instead of competing with me and my friends, it's me and my dad's friends. And so it was kind of fun in that aspect. And I knew my couple of jobs were to make sure that nobody takes a gun out where they're not supposed to. So that was my main thing. And hang targets and just kind of be the little helper. So I was focusing on that, but I mean, John and Dad run a pretty good safe class. They're very big on the safety brief at the beginning and just making sure that everybody knows what they're supposed to do. So, um, during the times that, there was just not a lot for me to do, I actually got to kind of be on the line and be telling people, hey, that's not how you're supposed to holster because you're pointing the gun at everybody. Like, here's how you do it. I kind of got to coach a little bit. And I just kind of got the taste of that and I really liked it. I liked having something valuable to bring to the teaching experience because I didn't want to go up there. I'm not an assistant instructor. I'm a range monkey, like run around and do your stuff. But I was like 16, like don't get a big head and start trying to instruct. So I just I did notice a couple things that I could point out that would be valuable to the students, and so I did. And it just kind of sparked this, oh, I kind of want to teach people how to do this feeling.
Yeah, I remember a conversation we had when you got home that you felt it wasn't what you expected coming in to the community. I felt like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but that you felt like it would be more of a good old boys type network that
Yeah.
you didn't really fit into, where you would have to prove yourself to the other students in the class to find a place. And you didn't really find that to be the case at all.
Yeah, yeah, it was mostly let's see, I think there were two or three women, and then there was mostly like I mean they were cops, they were, firefighters, whatever. I was 16. I didn't pay attention too much to that. I was really focused on making sure nobody took out a gun where they weren't supposed to.
I think you
Um,
were 18, but
was that?
yeah, do the math. It's already
Yep, do the
20 years.
math. Okay, yep,
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 yep.
yep. I started I think I started just helping you with ASP
Yeah,
stuff, like going and grabbing the mail and stuff when I was 16. I started
yep,
working with ASP at 16, but yeah, I was 18 for that.
yep.
Um but yeah, I really did think that I would have to prove myself, and I did to I think it was one guy. One guy, he was like, "Oh, I know how I'm holstering." And I'm like, "I don't think you do." But other than that one guy, I mean, everybody else was just super excited to see that I was actually a part of the instructor team.
Mhm.
It was almost just unreal. I didn't really feel like I don't it's hard for me to believe that I had the authority. So it was interesting that everybody else just already gave it to me?
Yeah, more of a cooperative learning environment and
Yeah.
uplifting, rather than kind of competitive. Although there is different competitive aspects, and everybody's
Yeah.
trying to do their best. It really struck me at the time that you said you felt that they were cheering you on, and they wanted to see you succeed as you stepped in as a student with them because you'd never taken a class either. This was the first
Yeah.
class you'd gone to. And when there weren't targets to hang, you were able to, like you said, step out and engage as a student, and that they wanted to see you succeed so much. And that also they were
Yeah.
excited when you were excited for them. There was kind of this team piece, and that wasn't what you expected from the gun community as a young woman going into it. So
Right.
that really kind of to me spoke to me as what kind of perception do we as a gun community, what are we giving if our young people or our future, and helping them understand why the Second Amendment is so important and about personal protection, if they're getting a perception that they might not be welcome, or that they'll have to prove themselves, or that all of these things, some of that might be on them for just not having a good perception, but how can we as a community help with that and let them understand that it's not that. So I think that's what's
Yeah.
so important to me, watching what you're doing as you continue to go to these classes and show how accessible it is and how much fun it is and can be. I
Yeah.
think it's really important work, and I'm really proud of you for doing it.
Yeah, the encouragement was definitely vital. I think if I would have gone and everybody would have just, assumed, oh yeah, she's she's the teenage girl that got brought along to hang targets. We don't really actually have to listen to her when we're pointing our guns directions that we're not supposed to. If people would have, like stood up to me almost, I don't think I would have gone back and taught classes or helped with classes or even probably gone to any self-defense classes. So the encouragement was definitely vital. We really need to be inclusive as a gun community because I don't know. I mean, most of the community is a little bit older. I'm definitely in the younger ones. And so if we are trying to get more people my age, then we just need to include them in it. And so it was just so nice to be included. And Darlene was at that class.
Well,
Yeah,
your grandma's friend, that is
my grandma's friend.
that is your friend.
She's my best friend. And so it was really nice having her there too. She used to be an NRA instructor in her I don't remember how old she was in her prime.
She might still be in her prime.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Although at that class she was still doing pretty great. She might still be in her prime.
So if that's where the range monkey came from, where is she going from here? You've been training, going to classes. We've been working at a gun range, learning a bit about teaching and instructor development, which we can talk about. Maybe we'll do another video where we talk about that. But
yeah,
but where does the range monkey go from here? What are your goals, either short term or long term?
right. So right now on my horizon is the ASP cohort. I'm really excited to get this class finished out. I mean, I'm still right at the beginning. I'm just excited for this whole journey. I'm excited to see who I am at the end of it because this is not the kind of class that I thought it would be. It's instructor development. We'll go into it a little bit more in another video for sure.
Yeah, for those that aren't aware, Active Self-Protection has an instructor certification program, and I think we could have a whole section on that by ourselves. So why don't we finish up this one and talk about that one, and everybody can figure out where's the range monkey going next week, and hopefully by then winter/spring in the Dakotas will have settled down a little bit. We can get back to the range.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nat. I sure appreciate your time.
For sure, yeah.
And that is it. We'll see you next week on the Chronicles of the Range Monkey.
All right, see you later.